guys, it is Nico Iona with Gypsy Juice Tarot, here with your collective energy reading today. I got a really fun one today, one of my personal all-time favorite topics in the whole universe, spirit animals. I went ahead and drew up 4 of these. It made me awfully happy to sit down and draw for a while. A lot of joy went into these 4 puppies here. So, as I always do, or as I'm always starting to do, I'm going to put the timestamps for each respective reading below in the description box and also in a pinned comment. So if one jumps out at you immediately and you want to get right to your reading, you can go ahead and click on one of those timestamps and, not another second to be lost. If you need a little more time to give these a peek, remember that my readings are timeless. Whenever you're watching this reading is perfect, divine, beautiful timing to be watching it. And also, you can pick more than one. More than one might resonate with you. So go ahead and watch more than one reading if that's what you're guided to do or that's what you have a feeling to do. So go ahead, take a good look. We've got this cobra, or it's actually an asp snake here that I got inspiration from there. This one is a little funky bat, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Here we've got buffalo, the buffalo, and the last one we got the frog. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it, and I'm going to start off our reading number 1 with our friend the snake here. So the snake, the asp. So I got inspiration from, it just popped into my mind, Cleopatra had an asp. Legend has it she was bitten by an asp when she died. It was a poisonous snake, I think. So, and that's all about the power of transmutation. A little bit about that snake. And I went ahead and drew 4 tarot cards. I pre-drew on these just because I like a mixed deck reading and it's a lot of shuffling around, and I just thought it'd save us a little time on that. So a little more about the snake, power of transmutation. Snake medicine people in a lot of the Mesoamerican tribes and things like that would endure multiple snake bites, which was so super rare, really harsh kind of way to go about the spiritual path. But the idea behind that was incredible power of transmutation. Kind of like Wesley in The Princess Bride. He drank that iocane or powder, or, put it introduced it to himself slowly so he could become immune to it, basically. So kind of the same idea. They have the power to take great it's like fire medicine, great fiery pain, and transform it. So on all the planes, on the mental plane, physical plane, spiritual and emotional planes. So the idea behind that was to get them to be the ultimate alchemist, working with all 4 elements at any time and being able to transmute those from dark to light, basically. So that's the idea behind the snake energy, and a lot of sexual energy behind that as well. And they're the symbol for the kundalini too. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So for our draw, we've got, I love it when that sucker pops out. Okay. Woo! All right. Wow. Okay, you got double Knight of Cups in reverse. The first card that popped out was the good old Blasted Tower, the card of the spiritual awakening, also in reverse. And then the good news here, though, you guys, is you got the Sun in the upright position. Beautiful card, the brightest energy in the deck. So we're ending on a very, very high note here. But let me kind of take you through what I'm seeing with this. So I love these mixed deck readings because when 2 matching cards come out, like in this case, the Knight of Cups, this is a very, very strong message for you right now. And there's a couple different ways I'm going to read it. For some of you, it might resonate in one way, and for some the other way, sometimes in more than one way too. So let me try not to get carried away. I got a lot to say here, snake people. So first on the plate here, we've got the Blasted Tower in the upside down position. So that's a complete breakdown of beliefs. Sometimes it's something sudden happening. Sometimes it's a slow burn, and all of a sudden you have a complete change of your beliefs, of your way of life. Everything burned to the ground. Everything switched. Your life did a 180. If you know what I'm talking about, you don't need any further explanation than that. It could be on smaller levels too. So in the reverse position, I'm seeing that this is I'm getting that this is behind you. This something already happened. And sometimes this card in reverse could also mean it's about to happen. So if it's about to happen, the good news here is you feel it. You've felt it for a little while. If there's gonna be a major change, if there hasn't been a major shift and that's not 100% resonating right now, it's coming, and it's coming soon, because it's there. But it's just, and for others of you, it already happened, and you'll know if it already happened. Oh, believe you me, you'll know. So that happened, or is about to happen, and as a result of that huge disruption in every aspect of your life, and we can pan out and look at this with the pandemic too. This is, could be you can really zoom out on this one as well. As a result of that, stuff didn't go so well, romantically specifically. You could have turned your back on, and Knight of Cups, this is romantic offers. So if you were in a relationship, the romance fell short, multiple disappointments. This could be with multiple people. That could be you turning your back on offers that just weren't deep enough, that just weren't right for you. You got disappointed again and again, and you didn't even want to turn your back, but you had to. Or that's somebody else rejecting you, and multiple times, multiple people, or maybe the same person. I'm seeing multiple occurrences here over, ever since this event. So if it was a spiritual awakening, and that, a lot of the time that relationships can be real rocky because we have to walk a path by ourselves, usually for a while, typically. So if you went through that and you didn't want to let go of dating, and you have all these wounds to heal, and you have your dark night of the soul to go through, it ain't gonna go so pretty, and you already know that if you went through it. If you're about to go through this and you feel something kind of lingering, and you feel like there's going to be a major shift, it's hard to give somebody this kind of advice, because I know I wouldn't have listened to this, but I wouldn't pursue anything new in your dating life, or try to. And it might even signify just a total letdown if you're in a relationship. It's just, if you're not moving together, if your levels of consciousness are not in sync, it's gonna tear, I don't want to use the term tear it apart, but you're just gonna vibrate away from each other, basically, because it's just gonna be empty. It's the empty cup of love. It's like falling short of being able to offer something substantial. And that's just really, we just have to go through that sometimes. But with this, so here's the good news here in this draw. Thank goodness there's some light at the end of the tunnel, right? The biggest light, the sun. There's the brightest energy in the deck. That's connecting with your passion, having your wildest dreams and desires coming through ultimately. But in order to get there, it's like you had to be made strong first. You had to go through some trials and tribulations and walk a lonely road. And, I'm seeing here, it's because of this sun energy being here, this card popped up, and if you were the one, if you were the one that was showing up and you weren't being real, the sun wouldn't have come out here. So that's the good news for you, Cobra Asp people. You stood true to yourself, or you're about to stand true to yourself and pass up anything that's not right, specifically with romantic relationships. The ones that aren't jiving with your soul, the ones that aren't a real soul connection, the ones that aren't true and real, they're gonna have to go away. And that can be like coming off of a drug sometimes, because a lot of the time that's a toxic relationship, or just all of the things for the wrong reasons. If there's substances involved, or if there's bad habits involved in any of those connections, those are going to get stripped away. The mask is going to be removed, and then you're going to be kind of standing there like, what's left? There's not a real connection. That's not who I'm meant to be with. Or, maybe it never even got fired up, and there were just a bunch of disappointments. Like, it looked like it was coming, and then it was like, nope, they ain't the one. So you went through a lot of that. But that was all training, preparation to appreciate the brightest energy in the deck, the sun. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Very, very lovely. I love it. And I'm going to draw one more card. Oh, nice. Whoa! Okay, that's awesome. The turkey, that's the win the lottery card. This is the giveaway eagle, the ultimate good luck. So honestly, those, I mean, if it were a major arcana tarot card, I would say the turkey would probably be the sun. Just saying. I mean, that's a double confirmation that you went through these things. Oh no, not in vain. You tasted the bitter so you can appreciate the sweet, what is coming. And you know, I don't know if that's going to be in the form of a new love or in the form of a rekindling of a relationship. It just depends on your situation. It really depends. You know, let me just draw one more spirit animal card because I'm kind of curious about that. I'm just like, well, what are they going to win? Okay, detail. Okay, the mouse. So that's the ability to scrutinize and pay attention to little details. So that's kind of vague, but so as far as your brightest energy in the deck and that win in the lottery, getting your wildest desires thing, it's pay attention to little details. So the little details that are sticking out in your intuition, whatever that lottery, whatever that big, you know, big blessing, bright energy is going to be, whatever is exciting you the most, whatever is coming to your mind right now, be it the smallest little detail, that is called honing into your intuition. Whatever that what I just said sparked in your mind is what I'm talking about right now. The first thing that your mind popped to, because that's a message from your higher self. The first thing before your analytical mind gets a hold of it and goes, no, that's wrong. That's, you know, that's wrong. Whatever excites you the most, that's what you're going to get. And the first thing that came to your mind. Wow, that is gorgeous. I'm sorry about all these toads you had to kiss or whatever it was, but nice. You're going to be all right. You are going to be all right. What a great reading for those snake people. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the bat. So the bat, this little bat here, they are all about rebirth, also linked with reincarnation, and a big, huge symbol in shamanic initiation rites. So the bat, it's symbolizing the shaman's death and the ritualistic death. So they would just be put through just hell on earth, you know. And since it's a global awakening right now, very, very nice. You know, I would actually correlate the bat, if it were a tarot card, to the blasted tower, probably, because it's a spiritual awakening card. It's an initiation. So in tribes, they would do it in an organized fashion because they were already connected to their spirituality. Right now, in you know, the Western world, there's such a cult where it's big. I'm just going to say it. There's a huge spiritual war going on. Don't you feel how funny it is? Everything's really weird right now, right? And there's a global shift in consciousness happening. So if you're watching this video, you already probably know what I'm talking about, but there is an awakening happening on a grand scale. So also known as initiation, which the bat symbolizes. So during an initiation, when it was organized, when it was done by your tribesmen or whatever, it was kind of in a controlled environment, more or less. So they'd get spit on. You know, some tribes would make them go and dig their own grave, and then they put a blanket over it, and they'd be terrified all night, obviously, and they'd even go and torment them, I think, just to scare them some more. So put them through some stuff, right? So building character, ego deaths, everything else. So now in the modern world, with all these spiritual awakenings happening, yeah, you got spiritual support, but that might be all you have. I know it was in my experience for the most part. It was, you know, most of us are waking up alone. And it's part of the challenge of these times. So it's an initiation. If you don't feel like you're alone, you're not. You're not. Oh, trust me, you're not. You've got guides, and they're, you know, accept their support. Accept the support from the invisible realms, because believe you me, it is there. Don't try to write it off. That's your first message, bats. You know, or if you've been on this path for a while, it's very easy to forget about accepting the support of the invisible realms, accepting the signs and synchronicities that are there to support you and help you. And even if they lead you to a painful place, it's for your highest good. It's your higher self leading you where you need to go. So without further ado, let's see what we pulled here in the card world. Okay. So first on the plate, you've got the Nine of Swords or the Nine of Bows. Absolute devastation, okay? Very similar kind of because in the last reading we did the Blasted Tower first up, but this one's more of a mental anguish. This card I would correlate with the Dark Night of the Soul a lot of the time, or just a real hard time, a depressing low state. And then we've got the Judgment card, right side up, beautiful card to draw. I'll get into that in a second. We've got the Princess of Pentacles here, upright position, nice. And then one of also in the best emotional card in the deck, probably the Ten of Cups, which is a homecoming, an emotional homecoming, true connection, connections with your soul tribe, connections with your soul group, real, true, genuine family connections. So that's what this one's all about. So first, with this Nine of Swords or Nine of Bows energy, this is just this is the nightmare card, the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. card, waking up in the middle of the night and feeling completely anxiety that you don't even know where it's coming from, or you might know where it's coming from, but you're just not expecting to have to process such heavy things right in that moment. Just absolute despair, devastation in the upright position. So you might even be going through this in a sense right now, or looping back on it and having triggers pop up and having to work through things again and again. Maybe when you thought you were already done with them. But let me tell you something. You've had dignity going through that. You've done the right thing. You've paid attention to your own moral guide, your own moral compass. And why do I know that? Because this is Judgment in the upright position. According to your moral standards, which is the best thing you can do, you have been true and stayed on the most moral high road. You've been kind to those around you, even if you've been brutally treated, because usually this devastation comes from a space of being treated unkindly, unfairly, and very brutally, and maybe second guessing ourselves if we didn't act in a good way. But you did, and you know that in your heart. And the judgment thing, like being judged by St. Peter at the pearly gates, is going well. If you had to go walk up there right now, he'd be like, yeah, all right, come on in, buddy, you're good. So then we got, because of this, look at this, because of passing that test, because of going beyond that. I don't know if that's the best selection of words, but maybe passing the test of your own moral judgment and feeling good in your heart, even though you went through a very dark time. This opportunity is going to come up that's going to give you what you need, tangibly, financially, stability-wise. There's an opportunity that's right before you, that's coming into your energy field right now, that's going to provide you with what you need. That bottom rung on the pyramid of the hierarchy of needs is going to be fulfilled. There's going to be a promise of that. If there was any question about your stability, it's coming. This is a very direct message that it's coming, especially I'm so sure of that because it's followed by the Ten of Cups. That comes from a great place of love. Someone who loves you very, very much. And that could be either in the spiritual world or here in the tangible world, or both. But since it's the Ten of Cups, this is the completion. So I see a lot of spiritual support for you. And I see a lot of tangible support that might be wrapped into both, like soul connection support from other people as well. And they're going to recognize that you're that you're complementary to their energy too, and they're going to be able to help provide you with what you need, not only tangibly, financially, real world needs wise, but also emotionally here. And that's because you stuck by your own moral compass, and you followed your path in a way that was authentic and true. Even though you've been awfully worried about it, and maybe even second guessing yourself on if you acted correctly in all of those spaces or not. So I'm going to draw one more card for the bat people. Nice. Really, really nice. Looks like you passed or are passing currently your initiation. Keep it up. Doing pretty dang well. So let's see, just to wrap it up, bonus card style. May I have one, please? Very nice. That one flew right out when we got the rabbit. Rabbit is overcoming fears. So, yeah, if you're feeling, I'm urged to say this right now. If you're feeling like you're undeserving of that, or you just listened to this and you had a sense of like, yeah, right, I've been told that before, that's resistance. That'll push it away. Get rid of the fear of not being worthy of that, because what I just said, it's like that 3 a.m. anxiety nightmare card. I'm undeserving of this, or but you're the one that's going to bestow that positive judgment and give yourself that ruling. It's really up to you, but you've got to overcome the fear of not being worth it, because if you knew how powerful you were, and I'm saying this to myself too because I forget it 10 times a day, but if you knew how powerful you were, you would know you would have absolutely nothing at all to be afraid of. And that is your message for the bat people. Hope you enjoyed that, bats. And I am going to move on now to the buffalo. Buffalo. Mr. Buffalo. She kind of... See, check this out. I put this little detail down there. She got little lips. She's like ready to kiss you. Mwah. So the buffalo. Okay, so here we go. I pre-drew these cards. So the buffalo is all about abundance, having a grateful heart, getting back what you put out from your heart space. The universe always takes care of a pure heart that's grateful for what it has, and it begets more. It's like that hashtag blessed energy, right? It's just you're always... the universe has always got a pure heart's back, a grateful heart's back. Even though it might not seem like that sometimes, believe me, at the last second it'll come through and you'll be like, wow, I don't know how I skated through that one, but I did. So that's good. Buffalo medicine. All right, just to get started here. And what do we have on the plate for you? Okay, so we've got the ace, or the one of wands. Ace of Wands, that's creativity, sometimes sexual energy, which is one and the same. Very vibrant, creative, fiery energy, the start of that. And then we've got the Five of Pentacles in reverse. The card of the Worrier, financial stress, financial worries, or just real world, everyday, nit-piddly stuff worried about in the reverse position. We've got the Death card. Card number 8 in this deck. And we've got the Justice card, which is funny because in this deck it's also card number 8, but they're flip-flopped in some decks. Strength and Justice are sometimes flip-flopped. So these decks are opposite each other, but it's double 8s, which is very interesting. So that might ring a bell for you if 8 is a sign for you in any way. It sometimes symbolizes wealth. Or flowing along your path in a smooth way, abundantly with the buffalo, right? 8, abundance, buffalo. I get it. I was a little slow on the uptake on that one. So to get it started, you got this Ace of Wands, that very fiery, ambitious, giving 100%, going forward very enthusiastically, with a creative idea or creative passion. And that could even be like towards another person sometimes, just being very excited and enthusiastic about a project or a new relationship, or it could sometimes even be like a project or a business partnership with someone else, and you've got something that's really fueling you, something new that's come in and just kind of like sparked your interest and sort of woke you up, and you're like, oh wow, I have like some flair, I got my groove back, I got flair for life right now. So I'm seeing that in your energy right here, and I'm seeing this is awesome. This is saying that you don't need to worry or second guess this. You're okay to go after it. It's like it's looking like you're worried about it financially, but I would say on this as a soother for that worry, if you're kind of passionately going after something, is just think to yourself, well, I can just stay where I am right now. What's really the worst that could happen if I don't go for this? Like, really tally up, like just take a cold hard eye at it, take a nice honest look, and just think, if I take this risk, what's it going to do? Is it just going to be a disappointment for me? Because I can deal with that, right? It's just like, so I fail, whatever. What's the worst that could happen? And a lot of the time, at least in my experience, when I want to go for something and I'm passionate about it and I got that doubt in my mind, it's like, oh, who do you think you are? You shouldn't go after that. You're gonna fail. They're gonna laugh at you. You're gonna fall on your face. But if you can push that insecurity aside, and also the insecurity of like, what if I go broke? What if it costs me all this money? Well, get past those fearful thoughts just to the point of looking at it from a different perspective of how much of a risk is it actually? What's the worst that could happen? Draw up that worst case scenario. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time, if this is a real passion and it's feasible and it's something you're good at and it's something that lights you up, the universe is going to have your back. Just like I said about the buffalo, the universe blesses a true heart that's being authentic. The universe loves that, is in love with that. And it might be a rocky road, but you will always find a way. The way will always be paved for you. As long as you're being authentic and true, there's nothing to worry about. Let me confirm, with that Five of Pentacles upside down, you will be taken care of. And I'm talking about financially as well. I'm not saying like you're going to be dripping in riches right away from following your passion, but you're going to be okay. You're not going to starve to death. You're not going to end up in ruin, is what this is saying here. And if you're being true, you really won't. Trust me, you won't. And here we go with the death, the reinvention, the rebirth. It's like this, the transforming, the leaving the old way of life behind, and going for it. Leaving those old beliefs behind that say you can't do it, say you can't follow this creativity and this passion, and get up and do your little rain dance. Shake those skulls around and whatever else. You're good to go. You've got full on encouragement and the blessing, #blessed, remember? And then we've got, with these double eights to wrap up your tarot section of this reading, the Justice card, which is it's going to come out in your favor. And just as a little side note, I don't know why I'm urged to say this, but with the traditional reading of this card, if there's some kind of legal matter you've been struggling with, or some kind of like unfair debt that you've been paying, it looks like it's going to come out in the wash in your favor. It's going to happen. Something that you've been struggling with for a long time. It looks like, it's going to come out. It's going to come out right. It's going to be fair. If it was unfair, those scales are going to be balanced, and it's going to actually be to your benefit. It's going to be like, oh wow, I really felt like I had to shell out a lot for a long time, and it felt really unfair. Now that equalizer is coming, because this is cleared your way. Okay, like it's just like something has come to an end. As far as unfairness, especially I'm seeing here with financial matters, or some kind of legal matter, some kind of tangible legal matter, most likely involving your financial situation. And I feel like something's really, really going to be freed up for you and allow you to pursue whatever that creative spark is that you have going inside you, because you're blessed. You're that buffalo, and you're going to have a lot of reason to be grateful soon, I think. And not because you got lucky, because the equalizer came and made things fair because of what you already put into the situation and the gratitude you were able to show from your heart. So that's really, really nice. And I'm going to draw one spirit animal card to wrap up the reading for the buffalo people. It's very nice. Something's going to really come out fair. And it's gonna be really nice. Nice raccoon. Being provided for, working as a team, the gangster of the spirit animal kingdom. So, but in a good way. It's like, you hear the story about Al Capone. He had the biggest soup kitchen in Chicago. Like, the mafia is not always bad. They don't always do bad things. So it's like, I feel like whatever justice is coming out for you, it might even seem like, how do I put this? It might even seem like they kind of got karma. Whoever was being unfair in this situation, that was strapping you financially or legally wise, it's gonna be like they're gonna sort of get their karma served to them in sort of a like mafia style kind of way. I hope that's not, like getting legs broken or whatever. I mean, well, depending on the situation, I don't know. But that's what I'm getting from that. It's like not, it's just going to be somebody just kind of like getting what they got back. And I'm not saying you have to do that. It just karma's going to come around and do it. The scales are going to be balanced. You don't have to worry about it. You can leave it behind with this death card. And the way that this is going to balance out is from you just clearing out and being done with it, closing out that karmic cycle and walking away from that worry. And once you've walked away, justice will be served, and you're going to be the one that's like the alpha male raccoon that gets all the spoils and stuff brought to him for being the lookout, for being steady, and for being fair in your actions. Everybody's going to see the truth. Whoever everybody is that's important in this situation, it's going to come around in your favor, and they're going to see the truth for what it is finally. After all of this time of possibly being blamed or a scapegoat for financial things, especially that just were not in your control, and maybe something was pegged on you. But that's really nice there. I see a little bit of maybe a little bit of darkness too, but not toward you. So that's awesome. Buffalo people, very blessed, and you're riding high on that buffalo. Really nice. So then the fourth reading I'm going to move on to was our little frog, who was kind of like a psychedelic toad kind of dude. He got like, my favorite part was this little dot by his throat. I don't know why. A little aqua throat thing going on. So frog has the power of cleansing energy, the power of water medicine, able to clear any negative energy from any situation, any person, place, or thing, really, like in some kinds of exorcism rituals. I'm probably saying the wrong word there. In like clearing like haunted houses and things like that. Frogs are sometimes used, depending on the medicine person that's operating that production. Would bring them in because they're like a psychic sponge, like an absorbent thing that will just seep in all the negative energy. But the idea behind the frog medicine is they also have the ability to just whisk it away with the fluidity of water medicine. So it's just like, take the negativity and whoop, bye. Like, just move it on out. Make that energy move along, that cleansing thing. And when that energy is out of balance with frog medicine, though, if you're having a hard time right now, it could be the message of being maybe in the wrong company or being in the wrong environment and just mucking around in the mud and the mire kind of a thing, not being able to get toxins out of your life, since you're just like a psychic sponge for absorbing that stuff, and by your birthright or by your natural talents able to get rid of that energy and move it on. Sometimes if we're going through a hard time for a long time, it can get stuck in our systems. So that's sort of, the frog energy, the frog medicine in and out of balance there. So what have we got for your spread? Okay. Interesting. All right. So the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Coins in the reverse position first up. Princess of Swords, also reverse position, the spying on you card, and in an aggressive way too. Okay. And then the Queen, I'm sorry, not Queen. When things slip out, though, I'm especially learning this. If it happens in the reading, it's part of the reading. So something about, she doesn't, she's kind of a queenly looking one with a dolphin there, but it's actually the Knight of Cups, or the Knight of Stones. So again, we got the romantic offers. This is the third time in this overall reading, with all 4 spirit animal readings, that this card come out. So like a romantic offer, but this is in the upright position in this one, unlike our last friend a minute ago. But this is like, okay, so like queen energy. So that like, so since I slipped up and said that, I'm going to say, like a divine feminine energy that's in its upright position. And this is the only positive card in the spread. So, I mean, really positive card in the spread. So that's really good. And in this deck, this card is really awesome. So you're doing all right, I have to say. But for the last card, you got the 5 of Bones. All right. So frog people, let me back up a little bit here and start off with this 10 of Coins, the 10 of Pentacles. So with the combination with this Princess of Swords following right after that, I want to say that there is someone who was hanging around you for superficial reasons. And it could have been, it was, you know, I don't know, maybe you don't have a lot of money and that's not resonating, but maybe if you do, maybe if you're looked at as someone who has more money than somebody else, it might have been they were hanging around you kind of like a gold digger energy. Or it might have been for stability. It might have been like, you know, maybe at worst, maybe like a hobosexual situation where somebody was, you know, wanting a place to stay or something like that, or kind of taking advantage of you in some kind of tangible way. And it looks like they did that in a very manipulative manner. Like they kind of sniffed around and spied on you and you know, because this is the card of like snooping and in the upside down position too. So that might mean that's over with, or it also might mean it's about to happen, or the other meaning of that one in upside down is like it happened in a very aggressive manner and he might not even have known it. Like they might have been really digging deep to, and I'm getting that with a combination of these cards. Somebody dug really deep to take advantage of you in some kind of way, in some kind of tangible financial way. And it might have been small potatoes, it might have been big, I don't know, but it's definitely there. And they did it in a kind of like a malicious, sneaky, manipulative kind of way. And I'm kind of getting also that you might be already aware of this. If not, it might be a warning or it's going on right now. But I'm seeing this as like you already know this happened, okay? But you've got this divine feminine energy coming in. So I don't know if that's coming from you or somebody else or both. But that's sort of like moving away from that and reconnecting with a really nice connection here. And there's that really strong energy there. However, and this is interesting because this kind of plugs back into this first part of the reading with the 5 of Wands or the 5 of Bones here. You've got a lot of fake people around you still. I hate to say. So you've got a real somebody who's really in your corner, somebody who really cares, somebody who's awesome, and there's a soul connection there, and whoever's popping to your mind that's resonating there, that's the person, or the people. There might be more than one, I don't know. But there is a true good, very like a kind of like a goddess kind of feel to it, energy signature, divine feminine energy that's all for you. And that's in balance right now. However, there's competitions, rivalries, and there's going to be like a lot of busyness going on around you. Like you've got something that more than one person wants. Or this person that's this shining star here has more than one person that's interested in them, and not always for the best reasons though. Not always for true, pure intentions. It looks like you and someone else have this really nice, beautiful connection, but there's other things around it. A lot of other outside influences, like third, fourth, fifth party situations kind of coming in. And I'm not saying it's all about romance and love. It could be like family members and just people interfering with some kind of deep connection that you're having with somebody else that you haven't been able to connect to yet because all of this other busyness and karmic ties that have been going on. But that's okay because that's our path, and we need to learn from all of those little encounters. But that energy is here. That's the good news. You just got a lot of bustly stuff going on around you. So let's bring it full circle back to what I said earlier about the frog, right? You picked this. You have that ability to cleanse that negative energy. So whatever's not true and real for you, you're going to be able to slough it off because you're going to know intuitively who has your best interest at heart and who does not. It's don't get blinded by your mind or your heart. Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. That first gut feeling, that intuition is going to tell you who's true and who's a faker. So, interesting reading. Kind of got carried away with that one. Woo, nice. What do we got? Ooh, the coyote. See? Just like I said, there's going to be some trickery around you right now. There's people who are not, or just, I don't even know. It could even be spiritual influences sometimes. Watch what you're listening to. Watch about predatory energy or predatory thoughts coming into your head as well. Listen to yourself, and it can be very hard to listen to your intuition sometimes because it can be hard to decipher, but it's all about that gut feeling, and practice makes progress with that, as far as being able to trust yourself and your intuition a little more, and knowing what's tricking you and what's going to be a trickster and what's not, or who is going to be a trickster. Because man, do you have some. And I mean, that's good though, because it's not like you've been bad, so you're attracting negative, bad energy. It's like bright lights attract moths sometimes, I just wanted to pull one more just as a clarifier here. Really nice signs, synchronicities, signs, messages. So listen to those little tiny gut feelings, those little intuitions, even the little small detail ones. If you have a little fleeting thought, listen to it, connect to it. And especially if you get a feeling more than once where you're just like, that didn't feel right, but logically you're just like, no, that can't be right. I'm going to write that off. Almost make note of them. I'm almost at the point where I'm doing like tallies in my like dream journal or whatever, or even just in my checkbook sometimes when something's popping up and I just have a purse on me or something, I will write it down and I'll count how many times I had that feeling, because trust me, once you start paying attention to that stuff, you will see a pattern. So pay attention to those signs, especially if they're like tricky little subtleties. If you have a funky feeling about something, please keep track of it, because it's going to reveal something to you and maybe save you a lot of trouble. But you do have a soul connection here that's really nice. There's at least one person that you have a beautiful connection with that's really in your corner. That your connection might have been interrupted because of all this other stuff and whatever form this trickery is in going on. But that's really cool. It's all in all a pretty positive message, but you really got to listen to yourself. That was kind of the most harsh message, but it went okay. So frog people, hope that resonated. Hope that rang a bell. So I'm going to wrap up the reading now. Please do not leave my channel without subscribing, liking. I love the comments on the video. I love to get feedback. Love that more than anything. Thank you so much, and I really enjoyed that spirit animal reading. Let me know what you thought, and have a lovely day, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're tuning in is the perfectly divine time to do so, and I wish you well. Thanks for watching. Bye.